hope that you've been looking forward to this as much as I have. Been a bit of a scramble getting ready because we were very busy at work today, but I think I'm all set to serve not a 4-course meal. I think we'll go with the 4 courses today, and let's just make sure that everybody's there, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to serve you. Let's have a look. Couple of minutes. Grace from Brooklyn, New York is in the building with yourselves. So if you have any questions, she'll be here to help you. She'll be here to put up any links, answer any questions, or pass me some messages if you want to. If you want to talk to me, then just post your message and Grace will pass it on to me. Because I'm going to be so busy serving the meal, friends, I won't have time to look. And apart from that, it's so far away, I can't see that far. There we are. Look, 24 people already in the room. Good evening, Jill. Good evening, Christine. Tina Morris, there she is. Lovely to have your company. So, yeah, well, you know, it's going to be a long evening, so I hope that you've got all your gear. Who's going to be crafting along? Is everybody crafting along, or are you just going to hang out? Nahid, are you crafting along this evening, or are you just going to hang out with your mates? I don't want it to be too hectic, but I do have to get through to the end of everything that I've prepared. So, and the design team, they've done us proud as well. So I'm very glad for that because, good evening, Ken. Yeah, why reinvent the wheel? When you get so many beautiful pieces of artwork through the post, I said, well, that first one's going to be a fantastic card exercise in Clean and Tidy by Deborah Wheeler. And then we've got the second one. Oh, it's me. The main course is myself. Quite grungy. Having said that, though, I did borrow the idea or took the inspiration from Sonia Goodliff on another project, and I thought that would work really well with these stamps. So that's the second one. And then the third course is Dee Paramore, and the fourth course is also Dee Paramore. So there you go. Dee is down for pudding and palette cleansing. So it'll be good. Hello, Bev. Nice to have your company. I'm just hanging out with you and our lovely shack friends. That works for me. I'm just glad to have your company, actually. I couldn't think of a better way to spend a Friday evening. Let me put this to one side. There you go. I couldn't really. You know, it's nice. Once, you know, it's like having friends round for a party, a little dinner party, except it's a craft along. And yeah, it's nice. Better than telly, isn't it? So we've got 4 things. I'll get started. We've already got 72 people in the room, so I'll slowly start ramping it up at 7 o'clock on the nose. There you go. Got a couple of more minutes. I shall start because we also, of course, we'll have loads of people from the shack joining us this evening, but there may be some newcomers as well. So, you know, friends from Create and Craft. Have we got any new visitors to the fold? Let me see. Come on, hands up if you're new to the family. I think you're in for a treat. I think you'll enjoy it. If you like the kind of art that I do, then you're in the right building. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but there you go. Loads of tricks and tips. Even if you're just watching and drinking a glass of wine or whatever, you know, there'll be loads of tricks and tips for stamping and artwork and card making and so on. Carol Panstello, good to have your company, Carol, as well. Another fantastic design team member. This is really like a gathering of the who's who of the Clarity team, isn't it? Tony's here as well. Welcome. So let's have a look. What we're using, it's nearly time to start. So let's just have a look at the stamps. So these are the stamps that you bought to craft along with us. And these are nice. People that were at the retreat last year may remember that I designed a kind of a groovy heart for the retreat workshop, which went really well. And then we decided it'd be really nice to make a set of stamps, especially because this year is the year of the alphabet at Clarity. I'm really excited for this, says Sue. Well, I'm glad to hear it, you know. So while our friends are coming in, this is the set. And you can see here, you may wonder, now, why have they split these up? The first demo will show you exactly. And the fourth demo will show you exactly. And even the samples will show you exactly. Why? This is an open. This has got stamps in it. And these little pieces here are well worth spotting because they make the most beautiful cards. These little bits here, these, we call them assets or worker stamps, you know, really nice to use as well. And of course, you've got clarity, quality. So if you haven't got those, then, you know, it's never too late. We've still got some in the cupboard. You can always, maybe you're one of those people that wants to watch and see whether they're worth buying first. And then you can always go back and watch the tutorial that we're going to do this evening, the craft along. You can watch it on YouTube, can't you? You just go to the Clarity Stamp YouTube channel and then just scroll down and you'll see the craft along there. So that's easy. And also I thought what would be really nice this evening would be to kind of mix it up a little bit and make it enjoyable. There's something for everybody. You know, it's like if you like clean and tidy art, you'll like the first one. If you like inky, arty, grungy stuff, you'll probably like the second one and possibly the third one. The third one is just simple but really neat. And then the fourth one is all about the clever papers, you know, because maybe you've bought those Bowob papers, you know, I love them. Or our tea infusion papers, you know, black on white, white on black, and you look at them and you think, I don't know what to do with them. But then you see what Sam Crow does with them, and you see what Dee does with them, and you know, oh wow, you know, and I like them myself too. I just haven't had a lot of time to play with them. But once you start to see, Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah, dear. I hope that you're okay. Jane Telford as well. I told you, this is really a gathering of the design team. Isn't that flattering? Isn't that lovely? I mean, it's not that I could teach them anything, but it's nice that they're here because they will be able to help you if you are struggling or if you have any questions. Then there are loads of experts in the building, which is quite nice, isn't it? So we've got 134 people already in the room. Marvelous. So let's have a look at at some of the samples, shall we? Because the design team really did us proud. There she is, Jackie. Nice to have your company. Been into work today, Sarah? Have you actually? Well, yep. One day at a time, my darling. Okay, so we've got this lovely stamp set, and I'm going to show you. I thought the first thing we could do was have a look at a few cards, and we'll look at some of the samples that the design team have done. And then from there, how about from there, we just shimmy on into the first course? Yeah, something light, something just to get some stretching exercises, nice and simple, but it also, it becomes very apparent very quickly why you all, oh, I forgot to mention, of course, you get the masks also with the stamp set. Very useful indeed. So I'll show you how that works as well. So let's have a look at some of this artwork, shall we? Let's have a look. These are really fabulous cards. So here we go. Deborah Wheeler. Clean, simple, lovely. Any of Deborah's work. She's on telly tomorrow. She's on telly at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock tomorrow. Let's come in a little bit closer so we can really enjoy this artwork. So let's have a look. We're just going to have a look at some of the clean and tidy work. And then later on, otherwise we could, honestly, there's so much artwork. You're going to spend the first hour just enjoying the gallery. All right. So let's just look at the artwork and then we can take it from there. We'll do 3 different lots of artwork. This is for the clean and tidy brigade. Okay. So let's have a look. Wedding Day. Very nice. White embossed. Now, this is lovely. This is Tina Morris's work. I like this, the pattern building. You see, so she's taken that pattern building stamp, you see, and just coloured it in black and white. Nice. Done the same thing. Look, reversed. Interesting. You got exactly the same design, but what an optical illusion. Black on white, white on black. Very nice indeed. And here she's taken the same thing. It's like a 3-way overlay stamp. Isn't that clever? So there she's greyed. She's used, did you use pencil, love? Black Sharpie pen. Yeah, very nice indeed. Doesn't that look lovely? Okay, indeed. And on the tiles, she's cut out and she's used that one little corner to create all those designs. Very nice indeed, Tina. Very clever. Very clever. And here's one by D. So this is good. Again, pattern building using those little elements. Fantastic, aren't they? And this one is Debbie McMullin, another design team member. Smashing work, stamp board, coloured in, jaunty angle, doodle dies, lovely corners. So you can see already how useful, how very useful this set is. And we're not even looking at the writing yet. We're just looking at a few of these little elements. I'll tell you what, I really like this one. There's a card in the mixed media or in the Arty Grungy set that's used this and this. It's really cool. We'll look out for it. Again, clean and tidy. This is a really nice card. See, it's all about the colour. This is Debbie McMullin again. Very nice indeed. And yet again, Deb, she's used one of our easy layout stencils or one of those. They're nice, aren't they? This is good, Tina Morris. Looks grungy, very simple, just stamped onto one of our tea infusion papers. I think that must be the peppermint, that green one. Now, here we go, Debbie McMullin. So she's used our letterbox. Do you know the letterbox boxes that we've got? She's used those to house the words. She used a stencil in the background, very pretty. And then, of course, she stamped and masked and put that flower into the heart. Doesn't that look nice as well? So many different options and opportunities. This is nice. Who did this? Tina Morris. Tina, you were on fire. Did you have a week off work or something? This is nice. You see, so she's used the heart that's got the split in it. So coloured in two-tone. Very nice. Carrying the colour over there. What does this say? Live, life, love. Cherish, love, faith, hope, love. Really nice. Very lovely indeed. There's one by Deborah Wheeler. Clean and tidy. Great embedder work. And there's one by Andy Duggan. Like that too. So you know he's used the open heart, he's masked it off, and then he's put stencils in the background, which is lovely. This is cool. See, I think it's clean and tidy. You know, just at a glance, that this is Sam. My heart aches for you. Oh, Sam. There we go, look. It's so lovely. I just love her work. It's just really arty, you know? And the lovely thing when Sam does art, it's always a little bit woo-ah, but it just is, you know, there's an art to making something look not perfect. There is a real art to imperfection, isn't there? You know, and knowing when to stop. This is a lovely one. So this is Linda Spencer. Now check out how clean and tidy this is. Once again, she's used that stamp and that border stamp. Look, border. Isn't that nice? Oh, and there, that little one there, that one in there. And this is a real shout out for the club. Are you in the craft club? Are you in our Clarity Craft Club? Because this here, that fantastic stamp there, is actually April's club stamp. So if you're a member of one of our clubs, we've got a stencil club, a stamp club, and a groovy club, of course, the biggest one of all, right? If you're a member of the stamp club, and it costs £6 a month, and for that £6, you get the double project tutorial, you get the stamp or the stencil or the groovy plate, and you get 10% discount of any purchase. I mean, it's substantial. And then, of course, we get our club sales and yada, yada, yada. And there's more in the pipeline for our club members. If you're a stamp club member, then you will have received this stamp. Isn't it lovely? It's big as well. Very nice. I like. So Linda took full advantage of the big club stamp and then just topped and tailed it with those little stamps from the craft along. This is again Linda Spencer. So she's used that open space there to write Nan in. It's a really lovely rainbow card. And one more by Dee Paramore. She split it. Dee's very, very good at composition. See, so she stamped it, masked it, brushed a lovely graduated pink around the outside. But my guess is that she did it in one great big piece and then just put a strip down the middle. If I had to dissect this, I bet this carries on, doesn't it? So really nice, lovely birthday card. Love it. Just, and you know, many, many thanks. The design team, they make me look good. And you know, they take the ache out of it for me, because I was on telly Tuesday and Wednesday, was it? Or Wednesday and Thursday? I can't remember. It all rolls into one. No, I was on telly Tuesday and Wednesday doing the oh, these, I love this. Look, I'll show you. I decided to bring my energy. Remember we did those lovely those two-way overlay stamps. I really like these. And so we did that on, started Tuesday night, did really well. You really like those, thank God. So they sold really well. Then I got home, and then yesterday I spent the whole day getting this little feast ready. And then what did I do today? Oh, I went and had my hair done with my friend Karen, my bestie. And then I went to the office, and we humped and bumped and crashed and moved stuff around. There's so much gear. We've just got to tidy it up. And so we did, the four of us. There was Paul and myself and Jilly and Jim. There you go, 4 managers crashing and bashing around today. It was good though. It was really, it was great, because we're all kind of thinking, you know, we have to do thinking jobs. And so to just crash around like that, it's just what we needed. You know, you see progress, don't you? Okay, so let's get started. I'll just remind me, if I'm looking for the first batch of artwork, I've put it over here and the stamps are over here as well. I might hang on to that, because that is good to show you which bits we used. Agreed? Okay, so course number 1 coming up. This is a card by our friend Deborah Wheeler, who is on telly tomorrow. And I looked at this and I thought, what a nice, simple, straightforward card. See, she's used both hearts. She's covered them up. I've got another little trick, because I figured out another little trick so that there's no overlap. Give that a go. And I thought, well, I'll do a variation on this. So let's just have a look. First of all, first course coming up. What do we need? Let's get our ingredients together, shall we? Barb's Loving Heart and Alphabet. All right, we've got that. Occasions, sentiment stamp. Okay, got that as well. Don't have to have it. A word of some description to put here. Black archival ink pads. Okay, I've got a black archival ink pad. Check. Pergolana pencils. Check. I'm going red and yellow or something like. I'm going to go a different colour. Nested square doodle die. Right. So these dies here. This die, it makes a yeah. Let's get that one out as well. So I've got that die as well. The panel die. Nested square hearts doodle frame. It's die. This one. And we're going to use the same one as Deborah used, but in a different colour. So it's the second one in. I think that's the right size. There you go. So we've got that one as well. I'll show you how to use those. So I've got that. Why May Have Falls? Well, you can decide which colour you want to use. Yeah, you can use Why May Have Falls or any colour that you've got in the cupboard. But Why May Have Falls is good. Okay, so we've got that as well. That's for the background, so we can cut that out. And then other than that, where did I put that? Just bear with me a second. That's the thing. So you've got so much gear on the table. Where did I put that paper? Okay, let's try another colour. Do you know what? I'm always going to the same colours. So I thought, let's try Shenandoah, because they're really nice colours as well. So we'll go with Shenandoah this time, because we're running out of Why May Have Falls. But it's a really nice orange in that one. So I'm going to use the orange from this is the companion paper. That nice grey. From Shenandoah. Okay, so that's the paper we're going to use. Happy with that? Nice. Good. So I'll pop that back where I found it. And then we need some bits and pieces. So we need a card blank. So this is a 7 by 7 inch card blank. Got that? 7 by 7 inch card blank. We've got that. Check. We've got the die, and we've got the companion paper to cut the hearts out of, the back bit. So I've got that and that. We'll put that to one side. Then I need, okay, so if you take one of these, this is a 7 by 7. If you take a 6 by 6 inch card rank, what we need as well, okay, is a 6 by 6. Is it a 6 by 6 or a 5 by 5? That looks more. That's a 5 by 5. So you need a 5 by 5. This is a 5 by 5. Sorry, guys. Well, either that or I'm losing my mind. What's Debbie say? Have a look. Da-da-da-da-da. 5 by 5. I knew it. How bad. Right. So what you can do though, you take a 5 by 5 and cut it in half, right? And then that is your front. So what we've got in the end, let's deconstruct this card so you understand. You've got a 7 by 7 like that. Let's pan out a little bit and then we can get started. So honestly, it doesn't take long when you get going. Right, you've got a 7 by 7. Then you've got the background. So what I did was I gutted it so as not to waste. So I used two, like you could use the whole thing, couldn't you? If you just use the die on its own, then you get a whole panel. But you can, because I know that this is going over the top, I popped another panel in, I get two. So then that is good for another project, see? And I've got that one. And then I need a 6 by 6 there. Oh, shush, 5 by 5. You see how it went wrong? That goes on there like so. And that artwork is in the middle there. And then we do a bit of colouring in. And that's what we get. And that's the position we're going for there. So the only thing we need in order to do this, okay, let's put all our bits to one side. What we need is a piece of 6 by 5 by 5. 5 by 5 inch card cut in half. And then we need our masks. Okay, I'll grab a mask. I'm going to use both of them though. I'll show you a trick. And then I need my two stamps. There you go. I've got 1, 2 mounted on our mega mounts. Ready? So that one's going to go on the front like so. Then I'm going to put that one on the back. But I'll show you a couple of little tricks with the masking. So let's do this. This one's going on there. Let's put Debbie's work away so we don't trash it. Right, can you see this all right, friends? Grace, can we see this all right? And can we hear it okay? That would be great. Dave, looking good, sounds good. Fabulous. Tina Morris. I was doing the hearts a couple each night, but I did have a day off work. Oh, Tina's chatting to me. Haha. Right. So let's have a look. Ink pad. Let's get a good ink pad going. I've got so many ink pads on the go here. Let's make sure that we've got a decent, juicy one. All right. That'll do. This one is January 1st. This is what we got here? December. Second one in December. No, I'm definitely going with the January one. Right, let's give it a go. So top tip, this is going down first. So you want to make sure that you try not to get ink on your fingers when you're doing this. Okay. And the other thing is, if you've got a new stamp or you haven't used it today yet, let's just say you haven't used it today, it's always a good idea just to stamp it onto a piece of scrap first. And then that way, also, apart from anything else, right, what that does is, apart from seasoning the stamp or warming the stamp up, it gives you something to test your colour on and your pressure and your ink, make sure that everything is right. So let's just ink that up, get the angle right. We're going to go like that. Okay, and then we'll press in the centre, a little bit of pressure like so. Okay. And then we'll see what we've got. Perfect stamp. Okay, if you're pressing too hard in that area and you can see it's getting squelchy, then guess what? Don't press so hard in that area. Right, now this time what we want to do is stamp. You want your angle right. So you want this to be about there. Okay, so about 3/4 of an inch from the top. Allow yourself plenty of room. So this much in. Okay, that'll do. Let me show you something. If I lift this up, when I put this down on the one I've already done there, it's about, look, you see, you can see that little hatch there is going to touch that. That just gives me a clue. Okay, so you can do all your positioning and your composition before, but don't sweat it. You know, don't sweat it. We'll work it out one way or another. Right, this is just a little warm-up exercise, but it's a really nice card. So we're going to go like that, jaunty angle. We're going to go like so, down there like that, and I reckon that will probably do nicely. Thank you very much. Right, so press in there, and then we're just going to, bit of pressure, that'll do. Now, let's have a look at what we've got. That works for me. So we've got two different masks here. Yeah, your texts are coming through, Grace. Thank you. Now let's have a look. So what we're going to do is just take this mask and we'll pop this mask because it sits and it covers up. Excuse my head if it's in the way. I'm going to cover that up there. So this is where, for example, if you wanted to get a lovely, you know, like that pink effect around the outside, this is where you mask that off and you can brush out and you protect the inside. But if we look at, let's have a look at this. Right, now, if we have a look, see where Debbie, she's masked it right up like that. She's stamped over the top and there's a bit of overlap going on. It's perfect. It's absolutely fine. But me being who I am, I thought, right, I wonder if I could mask this off so that there's not this overlap there and there. So I had a little think about that and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I've got another mask here. And this mask, if you like, it doesn't need, look, it doesn't need to cover that up. It just needs to cover that bit up. Do you see what I'm getting at? So now I'm just going to, because I know where the mask is going to, where it's going to hit. You know where the other stamp's going to sort of land, don't you? So if it's going to land there, I want to cover it up to there. Oh, hang on. Let's get that down. Right, so I want to cover there, that area there and that area there. So I can just, so I know that that's the stamp. Let's have a look. Do you see what I'm getting at? So I want to cover that bit up there and that bit up there. And I reckon, why is this so hard for me tonight? It was easy yesterday. Hang on a minute. It was really easy when I was doing this. So I want to cover that up and that up like that. That's it. Easy. Right, so you just go like that and then you cover that area up like so. So when you're stamping your next stamp, the larger one here, when this stamps into place, okay, it's not going to hit. Yeah, that's it, obviously. So when that stamps like that, it's going to touch there and it's going to touch there and it should be absolutely, it shouldn't touch any of the, that's it, got it. So all you're doing is covering. You could do it with a little bit of masking tape, couldn't you, if you didn't want to use the, okay, but the point is you could cover up this bit and that bit. I could go over a little bit, but I'm not going to. Got 4 courses to serve here, friends, but you get the idea anyway, don't you? So we'll stamp that up and then you've got to kind of eyeball it a bit because we want to, right, so that's there and that's there like so, and we're just going to just go like that. That's not too far from that edge. That would be nice. In we go. So, you know, and if it didn't work, then this is a, what's the worst that can happen? It's a bit of card, isn't it? But it's just worth having an experiment to see if we can mask off overlaps like that. Right, that came out nicely. So I'm not going to add anything other than that. So now I can take these masks off. Let me take that one off and that one at the same time. And there we go, you see. So now what we've got is, if we get in close, we've got, it's clean, right? And where there's a little half a circle, all I need to do is take a micron pen and mask, just tidy that up, don't I? Right, so we can pop our masks back on the page like that. Right, they're good to go for next time. In fact, when you're happy with the position, this is not bad, knowing if you wanted to replicate, then your masks are good for repositioning. So now we've got that, we've done those two. The next thing we want to do is let's say we want to put the word, let's get all the stamping out of the way, all the black stamping out of the way. So the words, what I picked to use myself, I really, let me put that to one side. If you haven't got these, they're a very good investment because they come with, what are these called? Oh, I've called them words and frames. They're occasion sentiments. And what you get, forgive me, I've got two lots. So you've got thank you, happy anniversary. But what you get is all different typefaces. So you get a happy anniversary in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different fonts, and then loads of different words that kind of tie in. And then you get, for example, get well soon in 5 different, but the get well soon and the happy anniversary and the happy birthday, they're always in they're the same 5 fonts, but then lots of lovely words underneath. Hope you have the best day, wishing you health and happiness, sending you love and hugs. But these typefaces, they run through like Merry Christmas. So they're a really, really superb set. You can see how excellent they work. And they come with these panels, which are brilliant for framing, for framing the words. Look, see? So you can see here, just to give you an example, you could just put the words inside and they fit so well. So you get really long ones like happy anniversary. And then I've got bits of masking material. So if I want to, look, with love, that's a different, there, look. Doesn't this look lovely? Sending you lots of love. So, but I use the masking material to cover this up if I want to ink over the top of it. So anyway, I'm going to go with thank you. And so what I've done here, just because I took the word, and it's obviously straight in the packet. And what I've done is, I'll show you, look, I'll take this off here. It's sticking really nicely though, so I probably wish I hadn't done that. But I've got a little stamp from the set that I'm going to use as a stabilizer. And then what I'm going to do is take my word and I'll put it on my handle. I'll stick it on my handle like that. And then I know I don't want it to be straight. I want it as a curve. So I'm just going to take the base of it and then just roll it up like that, and it will cling. See? And then when I'm happy with the position, I'll tell you what's a really good thing. Let me come in a bit tighter on this. What's really handy with this is that if you get a handle so you can see the stamp. And because it's a one-liner, often when you're using a one-line stamp, it's a good idea. See, they're all one-line stamps, really, aren't they? They're all that collection, often stamps are. And then you tend to wobble a little bit unless you're using a stamping platform. But let's say, for example, I can put another little stamp up there and just be sure not to ink it up. Right, I can take my scrap one like that, and I can just make sure that my angle is good, that I like the angle I'm using. This is just the copy paper. That's my artwork there. Let's just have a look if it works. So I've got to make sure I don't ink that up, otherwise I'll have a big black splodge on my artwork. Right, so I go like that, and I just want to make sure that I've got a kind of a jaunty angle. See? And that stamp there at the end, that stops me pressing too hard. You go like that, you can lay that down, and then you just press there, and you get the best result, okay? So that's pretty good. That angle's going to be absolutely bang on for me. So I'll go like that. I'll see where I'm going to put it, like so. I'll make sure, again, that I don't ink up that little stamp, because that would be a mess. That'll make a mess. Then I'll go like that, and then I'm going to hover with the handle until I'm happy with the position, and then I'll go down. There we go. Perfect. So I've put in thank you. You can put in happy birthday. And the thing what I like about that stamp set is that there are so many different sizes, So sometimes you want to say happy birthday, but you don't want a great big. You want it smaller, and they're all different sizes. So it's worth having a look at that set. So now let's have a look what we've got. So we've done the stamping there. We've stamped those two. So I'm going to put them back in the cupboard because I know I'm going to need them again later. So the next thing we want to do, right, now we've done that, the next thing is we want to do a little bit of colouring in. So let's have a look. I could take the one that I did earlier, only because it's dry. And then I'm going to use my pergoliners. So we all know what the pergoliners are. I'm sure you've got some. Here we are. I'm going to use the B pencils, 10 and 11. And then I'm going to do I'm going to just follow what Deb's done. And I picked the colour. You see, I've already picked the colour that I've cut out I've gutted this, see? So I know which colour's going to work for me, you know? So it's a good idea to pick the paper and then pick the pencils, or pick the pencils and then pick the paper. Depends what you've got more of, you know? If you've got the full range of companion papers, happy days. But if you're struggling, I always used to struggle to find the colour paper. So often it's better to go to the paper and then come backwards to the pencils. Okay, because you can always blend the pencil colours. It's not so easy to blend the paper colours. Right, so let's have a look. We're going to use the lighter, and now we'll just settle down for a little bit of colouring. And it's very, very simple. We need a good sharp B pencil for this one. You could use the Perga colours for this, couldn't you? Is that too close? I think it'll be all right. And then all we're going to do now is just add the colour. So you just go through, and all you're going to do is just go round like that and just add a little bit of colour. Very straightforward, isn't it? Relaxing. So because I've used orange in the background, so see if I put that orange in the background like that, you'll see that this is going to look really nice. There you see, so it ties it in straight away, doesn't it? But it's a really nice card. And what I really, you know, one of the things as I'm going around now, one of the things that I like about the design, even if I say so myself, is that I like the open heart because it hasn't got any stamping in it. Now that is going to be really important if you want to use it for paper piecing, if you want to cut out some designer paper. This would make it too busy. Do you see? So because we can use the front, which is more ornate, if you like, but then we don't use this one at the back, and it just looks more open, cleaner. And Deb, she's a real clean and tidy card girl. All her work. She's got a blog as well. She blogs every single day, as does Sarah Brennan. I used to, but I've run out of steam, to be honest. But look how easy this is, really, you know. So this is our warming up exercise. I started doing lap yoga. Sounds like lap dancing. I started doing some. So now I'm using the red. I started doing some chair yoga, not lap yoga. That sounds awful. Chair yoga this week. It's quite good, you know. It is. You know, I downloaded this app and I started doing this chair yoga. So I just think I've got to do something. You know, when you just start getting really stiff, I'm starting to feel it now. And it took some swallowing, you know, signing up for the geriatric section. But I thought, well, let's be real. If it says 65 to 75, that's me. I'm not delusional. So, and we did it, and I did it, and I quite enjoyed it, you know. And what's lovely is there's some sort of dance moves as well. So I've been dancing away in the kitchen. And what I found, actually, is it gives you more energy. I've had a lot more energy this week because I've been doing exercise, which seems like a little bit of a contradiction in terms, but it's the truth. You know, I just feel that I have got more energy this week than I've had in a long time. Much to the dismay of the design team or the team at work today when I came piling in the door after the hairdresser saying, right, that's it. We've got to move the entire business upstairs around 90 degrees. But, you know, you got to grab the opportunities when you feel like doing that stuff. You got to go for it. There. See, it's not bad, this. It's quite quick and it's nice, you know, it's nice and clean and tidy. And I think one of the things about card making is you just got to know when to stop, haven't you? You've got to know when to pull the plug and say, right. And I think that Deborah Wheeler, she's one of those, she's one of those card makers. She just knows exactly how much is enough, you know, you know. And I think that's a good lesson learned. I'm also a less is more kind of person, definitely too. Right, doesn't that look nice? It's dead simple, really, isn't it? See, and then with the background, what I like is that I've saved myself that piece. So then all I've got to do now is attach that to that, like so, and then attach that to that, like so. And in fact, believe it or not, that's exactly the same. Let me come out a little bit. We're a little bit close, aren't we? We can pan out a little bit. There we go. So that, my friends, is exactly the same as Debbie's. Look, and they're nice in different colours, you see. You could do a whole set of them. So there you go. That's the first demo done. I think that'll do, don't you? I don't think we need to finish it. You know the rest of the story. You're going to use your glue runner, your tape runner, and finish it. I'd rather clear the dishes away, right? Have a sip of tea and get on to the second card because it's really arty and it's like the main course. What do you think? Clean and simple, but effective. That's exactly what I think, Linda. So I'm going to thank Deborah Wheeler for her contribution. Thank you for that. I thought it was really neat and tidy. And a lot of us are very neat and tidy card makers, you know. I do some and some. I do some and some. I like ink. I just like making stuff. But I know a nice card when I see one. So let's have a look. That's that card out of the way. I'm going to move this. Where should I put this one? I'll put this one under here. Excuse me, 1 second. I'll put that one under there. And then, let's see. I know. We'll look at the second pile of beautiful artwork. How's that sound? Okay. I cleaned the kitchen sink. Did you, Lillian? So nice. Less can be more, definitely. That's right. So now I was thinking what would be really good. Where should I put them? Would be to have a look at a little bit more inky grungy. Actually, they don't belong there. I've got everything out but the kitchen sink today because, of course, I came back from TV. You know, it's all behind the camera. It's all fine. It's all fine. You love my top, Tony. Well, thank you very much. It's a desigual. I like my top too. I've been looking for it for ages. It was hanging up. I mean, who hangs up? Anyway, I couldn't find it. And then today I found it. Result. I've got way too much clobber. But there you go. We live in abundance, people, don't we? Right, I need the masks. I mustn't lose them. Should we have a look at some of that arty grungy? Let's look at some more artwork and then we'll do the second demo. Do you fancy that? Yes, Mum. Oh, that reminds me. Yes, Mum. Little Eric. You remember he nearly lost his leg? Well, this evening, when Dave got in from work, there he was, feeling very sorry for himself, sitting outside the back door. He'd been missing all night and all day, and he's done his leg again. So he's not happy. He's not a happy chappy. And yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where we go with that. Still, it doesn't look broken, but we'll have to monitor that very carefully. Poor little sausage. So here we go. Now we're entering the realm of jelly plates, gel press plates, Sam Crow, really far more Jane Telford. Jane does both, but this is definitely a Sam Crow. So you can see here that what she's done, yes, clever, look. Gel plate, heart masks, distress oxides. So she's using the masks now to squish through with her colour Do you see? She stamped it and then she squished through the mask. That's how she gets that red in there, friends. And then she's covered this up, and then I can tell you now, because you're going to think, how'd she get those different colors? Well, let's dissect it, because that's what we do. We're going to show you Sam. So this is what I think she's done. Stamped it, stamped it, stamped it. The 3 open ones, okay? Then she stamped the flowers in there, because she can, okay? Black as well. Then she's taken the outer mask. She's taken this part of the mask and she's covered up. That's just cut that in half like that. She's taken that and she's covered up that heart. Then she's taken a mini jelly plate, the little baby ones, the little baby gel press, and she's gone through that and that and that. She's done a little bit more than that. She's pulled some paint off the gel press before she's done it. But the bottom line is that's how she's got those red blocks. Okay. Once she's done that, she's taken that mask away. Then she's loaded this mask. So she's put that mask down and then she's gone, look, you can see it. This is the square little gel press. You see it? So she's put some green on there. Bosh, bosh, bosh. She's used the stamp to pull some of the paint or ink. What's she used? Distress oxide. She's used ink pads to take the colour out. And that's why she gets that kind of faux batik look as well. And then she's literally, because that's what I love about the way she works, she's taken this little fella here with a red ink pad and she's gone bash, bosh, bish, bosh, bish. She's just gone all the way around and she's framed the gel press pieces. And she makes it look so easy, you know, but it's just years of practice, but it's really, you kind of just got to let it go and give it a go. Okay, so there you go. That's a little clinic on how that works. We won't do that for all of them because we'll be here all night, but I just wanted to explain that's how it works. Jane Telford, very lovely, very nice. It feels lovely. It's very chalky, very chalky. See, this is my kind of thing. Yeah, gel. It's a clean up from the jelly plate. There we go. This is a lovely one. Sonia Goodliff. She's used some really cool stamps there. Sam Crow. Again, you can see where she's used the mini gel press. This is a Sonia Goodliff one. Now that's white embossed. These are lovely, aren't they? Aren't they great? This is Linda Spencer. Again, white embossed, and then she's soaked a piece of card with dark ink. It must be watercolor. It feels like watercolor inks. There you go. Now this one impresses me. This is Sonia Goodliff. So do you remember I said about the openness, the heart? Why has that heart got nothing in it? Well, because if you want to cut it out of a patterned paper or something like that, you see, like you want to do something inside it, you need the open one as well. So this is cut out. But what I like, see where she's done this around the edge. Doesn't that look fabulous? And that is using this, look. So she's just randomly stamped that there. And it's so lovely because it's actually that part of the stamp extracted, but that's where it is. I think that's so good. So yeah, very clever. So then we've got that one by Andy Duggan again. This is a really good one, watercolor from Sonia. Andy Duggan again. So what's really cool is got pictures and ink and all sorts. It's one of those ones you just look into it and you think, wow, there's ink and straws and all things being used there. Then we've got Julie Dunn, bless your heart. This is lovely as well with designer paper in the background. We've got Jane Telford tea bags. There you go. Stained tea bag. How cool is that? Right? Julie again, really nice. I love that. Be My Valentine. Here we go. Dee Paramore. She's used the stamp board. So check this out. So she's used the stamp as we saw it, coloured in the different areas. She's taken the open stamp, but then she used that little stamp there and filled it. Clever. She's used the open stamp here again, see, because it's just a naked heart. And she's used that flower inside it. And that's a smashing idea. And this little thing that looks like propellers is there. That I used when I did that happy. I must remember where I found that, or I'll be looking for it. Marry Me, Sweetheart. Oh, Julie Dunn. There we go. I've got one more here. I like this, Linda Spencer. Always nice. White on craft, always looks great. And last but not least, this is a really lovely one. And it's all on one layer, apart from the stickers, the sticker booklet. That's done with a stencil and masking. Very clever. So there you go. Thus endeth gallery number 2. Okay, and now we're going to start with our second card. So hopefully that will have given you enough time to clear the decks, and we can go again, can't we? Are you ready? Right, let me just put these on. No, actually, I'll put them over here. Excuse me. I'm going to put them there. So group 1, group 2. Right. Okay, so this requires a little bit more tackle. Okay. Right. Okay, so card number 2. This is the main course, friends. What we need is the following. Are you ready? So we need Barb's Loving Heart. Okay, we got the stamps. Let's assume we got the stamps. We need the clarity coated stock, right? So get a piece of that. You only need one piece of it. There you go. Look, I'm still using stuff from 20 years ago. It still works, friends. That's that one. Right, so I've got a piece of that. That'll do. And then what else do we need now? Loving Heart. We need a, to get this front bit done, we need, that's all the finishing stuff at the back end. Right, you need a wow. You need something, a stamp pad that will give you a resist technique on this particular clarity card. So some of the samples that we saw, they were embossing powder. You could use white embossing powder, or you can use clear embossing powder on white card. Either way, the white powder tends to look more white. It looks whiter, doesn't it? But that's another way to go. Or what we're going to do is just get a really faux batik, a real arty look. Okay, I got this idea from a sample of Sonia's that was on the telly on the ODS, and I thought I really like that. So then I got in touch with Sonia and I said, "How do you do it? You know, what was that?" Anyway, so I kind of adapted what she did, and I've got my own version that I want to share with you now, thanks to Sonia. So we've got the Versamark ink pad or the Wow ink. These are the same thing, like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So we use that one, same thing. Then we need some paintbrushes, or have you got paintbrushes? Well, let's get the paintbrushes going. I've got the 3 that I used the other day when we were doing our little people in the shack. Okay, which reminds me, I mustn't forget. Okay, I mustn't forget. Okay, I'll remember. It's about the shack. It's okay. It's all good. So we've got our brushes. I will remember. Then we've got water spritzer. Water spritzer. Always got one of them handy. Right. So I've got my water spritzer. I think I need. I know. I knew it. I need a blending mat. Have you got one of these? Have you got one of these blending mat with a poly bag around it? That'd be handy. If you got one of them, useful, very useful. Right. So we got that. I mean, I do use the same stuff all the time, don't I? What else we got here? So we've got one of them. Kind of. Oh yeah, it says here emery board, like a sandpaper block. So you could use like a a nail file thing. Just use that. Just rough. I tell you what it does. It just gives that card a little bit of purchase, a little bit grungy, not quite so shiny. The ink soaks in if you just break the surface a little bit, I found. Okay, that's something that I was fiddling around with. Works really well though. Okay, so we could do that. So I've got one of those. Black and white card blanks. Stickers, that's the other end. Well, that's the other end. And which ink pads are we going to use? Well, let's go with these 3. So we've got the old art. What you need is actually what we would call dye-based inks. Okay, so these are either distress inks, Adirondacks, artistry inks. These sort of colours would be nice. Now you probably want to see what it is that we're going to make, because then more will become clear. Okay, so let me show you. This isn't so much, well, I did actually finish a couple of little cards, but the idea here is that we're making a piece of A6 really arty art, okay? Arty hearts. And then what you do is, so it's a learning exercise, this is, in not only how to apply ink to a piece of paper, it's not just that, it's also a learning exercise for the head. It's very unpredictable art. You can't see where it's going to go, and you just have to go with it. You don't, you know, the card that we did of Deb's, it's very predictable. You know, if you do A, B, and C, you'll get A, B, and C. It's really comfortable kind of art. And then there's the kind of art that we're going to do now where no two will ever be the same. Never. You'll never get the same thing twice. And you could spend the rest of the day, you get one, and you think, cool, I love that. I want to make that again. Not going to happen, you know? So, and that there's a learning curve in there, that freedom of just going with the flow, just letting it happen, you know? There are, and focusing on it as well. I think that's it. It's all about the process. It's all about the process, friends. So let's have a look at it, and then we'll see where we're going to go. Because I got so caught up in this, right? So let me show you. I got so caught up in it. I nearly lost the best part of yesterday doing this. See, because I wanted to. Was it too blotchy? Or did I want to make it brighter? I wanted that lovely cloud in the back. Then what happens if I stamp in over the top? I really like that. See? Let me see if I can show you. See, so then that happens. You go really dark with the colour, more concentrated, less diluted. That looks lovely. This is a different colourway. Look, honestly, I just a bit more blue and yellow, a little less green, right? And then you end up, so this is what you end up with, is these pieces, right, like this. And that's still, you know, like what, now what? That's the card maker's lament. Okay, so I've got all these wonderful bits of artwork, which I've really enjoyed the process of, and I really like that kind of arty grungy look. Now, but what am I going to do with it? So then we cut it up into little pieces, and I love, see, this is where it gets good. So what we're going to do now, so we're going to make these little cards. Check this out. So what we're doing, right, is see if we can get in on this. We're making these little cards. They're like little notes, but they're really arty backgrounds. See, and it makes no odds. You know, we could get really super critical of this, right? And then you know, like look here that it popped. I got too close with the heat gun because I was trying to speed dry it. See how the paper popped there? Doesn't matter. I'm going to chop it all up anyway. And when I chop it up, it's going to look so nice, so nice. And then, so we've got all these pieces, right? We're making these little cards like this. I love this. This is my kind of thing, right? And then I thought, because this comes, let me tell you, Dave, he die cuts all these cards, right? So these are card blanks. Dave cuts these out on a platen press, on the big old windmill press, you know? We've got this fabulous piece of kit. It's a windmill press, and we use it as a die cutter. And so, no, they're not made in China. They're made in Edenbridge. And then Dave also, bless his heart, he makes these. See, so they are cut on the Heidelberg, right? So there you go. You get them. So you got these smashing little cards like that. Very good quality. They've got to be 300 GSM. They feel really thick. Yeah, 300 GSM pre-scored, right? And then we've got the envelopes, and the envelopes are fat. And you even get a couple of little embedders. Yeah, nice, because they fit on there like a charm. Looks so sexy. Anyway, so if you look at this little envelope, yesterday, this is me running out of time. And then I think, oh, I know, let's make an envelope to fit as well. So I enter the envelope, right? So obviously next time I'll put the hearts the other way round because they're upside down. But what a lovely, look, what a lovely matching envelope and card. I love. And these ones, they've been done because they're different. They're paper, they're not that coated stock. You see what we said about the white embossing powder? So you've got that really arty grungy look. I thought I'd do this to show you the difference. You've got that really arty grungy effect where it's like that, right? And then you've got that really sharp, clean effect, and that's embossing. Exactly the same stamp. And that's the mark of a good design when it looks great in both of them. Okay, it looks, you can go arty, grungy, unpredictable art, and you can go really clean and tidy and lovely and get the same thing every time. If you're going into mass production, or you make to sell, you know, then, well, me personally, I would still make originals to sell, but that's just the way I am. So what I want to show you today is how to make that, right? And so yours could look like that, it could look like that, it could look like that, it could, if you could take any selection of colors your heart desires. Okay, that's how, it's easy. It is easy. It is easy. You just gotta, there are certain little instructions. There you go. There are certain little instructions. So we'll keep these to one side so we know where we're headed. Okay. But the thing is, you see, because I did 4 or 5. Once you get into the swing of it, honestly, this is, once you get into the swing of it and you've got the ink down, it's easy. It's just about getting the stamps down. So let's do that. We need the ink. Let's clear the decks for a minute. Let's put this to one side. What we need is, you need your ink pads, check. You need your emery board, check. You need your paintbrushes. I think we'll go with paintbrushes. You need your blending mat because you need somewhere to squish your ink pads onto. You need some water. Just pop that up there for the moment. Right, so put that there, put that there. I love this stuff, see. This is my vibe. And I think that's probably why I'm kind of veering off into printmaking. You know, I just love it. I could retire and just pull prints all day long. No, all morning, and then in the afternoon do pottery. Oh, that is my idea of heaven. Right, so what we've got to do, this is only my opinion, but I reckon that this is probably the best way forward. Okay, we've got this poly bag and we've got our clarity blend in that. Good, this is a bit dirty, but it will do the job. I'll pan out a little bit so you can see what we're up to. There you are. Right, so what we'll do is roll my sleeves up. All right, and then we'll just, we don't need that for the minute because that's just irritating. Let's put that there. We'll put the 3 colours down first. So I've got my 3 colours. Oh, hello. Ocean Reef, Elegant Emerald, and Mustard Seed. So we'll do a bit of yellow. That'll do. And then we'll do a bit of Ocean Reef. These are so wet, aren't they? Who's got the artistry inks? The colours are fabulous. Absolutely fabulous colours. We used to get these in from India, didn't we? I think we still got some in the cupboard. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, beautiful colours. And we've got little tiny ones of these as well. I don't know if we've got any left though. Right, that'll do. So we've got those 3. More than enough ink there. That'll keep you going for hours. So we'll put that to one side. We've got that ready. And we've got a little bit of water, haven't we? Got a bit of water at the ready as well. Right, so then take your card. Have you got, just by way of, you haven't got a brush, have you? Just to dust, you know, your emery board. Let's just take them over there for a minute. See, I've done this so many times now, I should remember. So what we're going to do is just rough up that surface of that coated stock. massively, because otherwise, what was the point of having coated stock? If you're going to remove all the coat, you don't need a. But what this does is, I found that when I did this, it just get rid of that excess. It's a bit scratchy, but it gives it a really good texture as well. So if I come in on this, I don't know, I'm sure probably you can't see anything here, but it's, see the scratches there. See, it's just a little bit grungy. There you go. But it's coated stock, definitely coated stock. It will definitely resist the ink. Okay. So we'll go like that. Let's put a bit of, let me put a bit of, I'll put a bit of paper underneath so you can actually see what I'm doing. Right, now we've got this. We've got the stamp. I'm going to go with this one, this stamp. Now, I was using that in a black ink pad before so that I don't trash my ink pad. This is a great way to clean permanent ink, you know, like archival. This rubbing out as cheap as chips. You can get it online. Just buy it on Amazon. You get 3 great bottles for like £8. It's cheap as chips. But it's really good for cleaning your stamps. And then we'll just, you know, sometimes if you use black ink, black archival ink over and over and over again, you use the stamp over and over. After a while, the stamp gets like a, it just builds up. It builds up a layer of the ink. And sometimes it's just good to just clean it, take it back again. You know, our stamps are very robust. You know they are. And while you're there, you can clean the handle. There you go, clean them out. Okay. Gracie, you still there, darling? Yeah? Let's have a look. Okay. Nahid, you need to get them used. They are lovely. What are we talking about? Is it a Dick Emery board? It is a Dick Emery board. That's exactly what we were saying today. Right, so what we'll do now is we're just going to stamp this randomly. If you look at one of the pieces of artwork, you can see there. There's another one there. You see that? Right, so we'll just stamp them randomly here, there, and everywhere. Because remember, you're chopping this up. I like chopped up work. So now let's have a look. We're going to ink this up. And whether you get a perfect inked impression or not doesn't signify. It's not important. What is important is that we get something down. So we'll go like that. Now you are working on shiny paper or shiny card, even if you have roughed up the sides. So let's pop that one there. Gently does it when so you don't slide, right? So we pop that one down. That's it. And then we'll lift that off, go again. Pop that one there. That's why I put this there, to pick up the, see now, if you wanted to put, if you were going to put, so we want a different angle on this, don't we? If you were going to put embossing powder on here, let's say, then what you would want to do also is just dust it with talcum powder before you start doing this. But we're not going to do that. So, but if you were going to use embossing powder, if you were going to take your ultra fine embossing powder, then I would definitely say dust with talc before you start. There you go. So I know this is like watching paint dry because you can't even see what I'm doing, but just random. Right, we'll pop one there. Let's have a look. Let's go one more. I'm just going to pop that in like that. Just press. Don't want to press so you squelch the ink, but just a little bit. There you go. We could put a little bit of that because you're chopping it up. So you're really only going to see little bits of this and little bits of that. Yeah. There you go. Look, just pop that, turn that around. And you're filling that whole area, just that bit there. That'll do. Okay, so now we've done that. That one's got that on it. That's fine. So now what we're going to do, it all hinges on this. So we've got our 3 colours. What we'll do is I've already got some water going. So you can use the water brushes as well. But let's say, for example, I'm just going to pop a little bit of water there a little bit of water. You want to dilute this ink a bit, right? So we just add a little puddle of water. Look, just there. This is the easiest way. If you spritz, look, I only know this because I did it yesterday. When I spritzed it, everything had a little blue, everything got spritzed with water, with blue ink, because I spritzed it like that, and then everything got coated, you know? So you go like that, and then everything, the camera and everything got covered in ink. So let's have a look. We've done that. We've got 3 colours. Let's start with the blue. Okay, so we'll go in there, and then we'll just start diluting that colour. Here it comes. So we're pulling that blue in like that. Okay, so we can start now. And we've got we've got that there, we've got that there, and then we'll start. And I'll come in a bit closer so you can see it better, right? And then we'll just start moving these colours over. So you're just gonna just bring them in and then just start dropping them down. So you bring it in and then drop it down. There you go, just randomly like that. Don't worry about, it's coming a bit further like that. There you go, you can see it. In fact, what I'll do is, hold on folks, if I turn this round like that, then you can see the colours. I know, upstairs for thinking, downstairs for dancing. So you put a little bit of blue in, but you're just getting a little, just dob it in. Don't overthink it. A little bit like that. And then I have got like a big thing of water here, right? So we could just go in there, and you could always move it around a little bit. Look, just dilute it a bit. This card can take this, right? Don't worry about it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. There you go. So once you've done that, she said, putting it in her tea, as you do, right? Right, clean off that paintbrush. That's your blue paintbrush. Let's go to the green one. And we go to the green. It's nice if the colours can stay kind of true, you know. Let's go into that green. Let's go again. Let's add a little bit of green. Right, here we go. Add a bit of that green. This is a lovely, what green did I use there? It's nice. Good colour. It's got a really lovely kind of pine look. Right, so in we go. You're going to go back again and again. You can dry it. You can add colour when it's dry. You can go in. But you've got to get the first layer down, really. Okay. You can spritz it. You can drop it in like much. At the moment, we're still trying to get some colour down. But you can see how it works. Okay. We'll get some of that down. Let's get some yellow in. Let's just clean that green off. Right, now I'm going for the yellow. Right, yellow. Let's get rid of that big thing of card. And it's all about the process. For me, this is all about just you can't worry. Look, you look at that and you think, well, that's a mess. Yeah, well, of course it is. It's not finished yet, is it? So now you're just going to add a little bit. Do you know what? And it's all right to leave a bit of white as well. You know, if you like white in there, it doesn't all have to be completely coloured. Leave a bit of white. Right, so let's get some yellow in though. Yellow's good. And you can drop it in and it can bleed as well. I mean, everybody's is going to be different. But you can see how the staining is starting. And the more water you use as well, the more water you use, the runnier it'll be, obviously. But the thing about this, it's about the card, this coated stock. It's the same stuff as Mike Bossum uses for encaustic art. And it's the reason that I found out that this resists the ink is about 25, God, not even longer than that, 30 years ago, right? We were at the NEC. Mike and I, we've been mates for that long. And it was like day 4 of the NEC, and I was doing the demonstrations. And I was doing these demonstrations. I ran out of card, right? And I ran out of card. And then I ran round to Mike. I said, Mike, you got any card I can borrow? Because I said, I'm doing a demo and I've run out of blooming card. So he gave me a pack of his encaustic card. And that's how I found out, right? I kid you not. That's exactly how I found out that blimmin' encaustic card is fantastic for the resist technique, because I went to I used a Versamark on it to go, like in those days, everything we did was everything you did was embossed, wasn't it? It was just the way it was. And I went to emboss it, and then I got this resist, and I thought, oh, I don't need to emboss it. It's doing its own thing. Right, here we go. So you can bleed it through like that. You can run it, you can chase it, you can spritz it. There, let's have a look. It's curling a bit, that's all right. Not worried about that. Don't want to overcook it. So you look at it and you think it's got to be perfect. Well, no. So let's take this. Have you got a heat gun handy? Have you? Because if you have, shall we use it? Go on, talk among yourselves for a minute. Am I the only one left? Right, let's give it a go. So this is going to be nice. If you want to blot it, you can, you know. But sometimes it's quite nice to have those dark bits. I wonder what happens if you turn it round like that. So what we'll do now, just dry the first layer, and then we can go in and try again. That's better, isn't it? Okay. What do I think? Nice. Best one yet. This is one of those, this is that kind of gel press art. You know, when you do it and you think, I bet if I do it this, it will be different. And then before you know it, you've gone through 100 pieces of card and about 10 hours, and you've just had the best time, you know. This is that kind of thing. You just want to do it again and again. Is this the same card you can use for alcoholing? You can use this for alcoholing, Vanessa, but there's another card that we sell that I personally, there are two other cards that are glossier, and the alcoholing, you can use it, but it's not as glossy as, there's one called Chromo card, right? It's on the website. Chromo card, super glossy, really nice. And then the other one that Tim Holtz actually, that he uses for alcoholing, it's called Yupo paper. It's a Japanese synthetic paper, and that's the one. Where's my? I've got Yupo paper art here somewhere. I'll have a look in a minute. But we sell that as well, and it's called Yupo paper, and that's like the prescribed card for alcoholing. But to answer your question, you can use this. You just get different effects. It's not as vibrant. It doesn't move as much. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. That's given that a chance to just calm down a little bit. So now let's go again. I've got to move my teacup because I keep going to put my brush in there. Right, let's give it a go. So I've got a little bit of, so now I've got a bit of paper towel, and I'm going to go back in with a little bit of blue, right? But I want to just take off the excess just before I start popping it in, right? Just, I want to see what happens if I go in. See what happens if I blot it. Yeah. So you've got so much control, right? When you do this, you can go in, you can add a bit more. Just let it do its thing. It won't cover up the white. Look, it won't. It's a resist technique. It's like faux batik. It won't cover it up. But what it will do is it will stain it a bit more again. So what happens if we go in with a real darker color? See, now it's not as diluted, and I know it's going to stain. But I tell you what else is nice as well, right? If you like it, is a little bit of that spritzing like that. Okay, so if you think it's too dark, then you lift it off, and you could just blot it, and you've got you still get the effect. But if you wanted to do it, let's say with yellow, right? So you do it with a bit of yellow. Look, see? So you can do a bit of that. That's nice too. Looks good. Maybe you want to add a bit of yellow, a bit more vibrancy. Let's get a bit more going on here. You can drop it. And the other thing that I found was that you can puddle the ink. You can, look, watch. I'm just going to go like that and puddle it a bit. And then just pick it up and puddle it like that. See, the yellow is really good for that. Just because it's subtle, it's not so in your face, is it? Let's take that green. Let's see what we get with the green. Here we go. Right, so you just puddle it in there like that. See, I was getting right into it yesterday. I was even doing this. Like I was squeezing it out to see like that, and then just moving it around. See what happens if you do that. What happens if you squeeze it? You know when you don't care what your hands look like? There. So you just move it around, decide what you want. Do you want to flick it? Do you want to add it? Do you want, and then you've got to know whether you want to dry it or blot it. If you've got too much on, you may want to dry it. If you want to add a bit more, you may want to blot it. It's all up to you. It's entirely up to you. If you think it's too, you can move it around with a wet brush. See if you don't want that mark there. The card is so robust, it can take. If you want a bit more of a cloudy effect, then just add a cloud. Just go in and the colours will blend. They just move through and blend. And the trick with this is, don't look at this, don't look at your artwork and think, well, that looks like rubbish, right? Because it's not finished, and it won't be finished yet until you think, right, I like that. That's good enough for me. I don't want to add any more to it. And now I'm just going to let it dry, or I'm going to heat dry it, or you see, I quite like that there. That's really nice. But then I say to myself, right, do I want to bring these flowers out a bit more? See where they've disappeared? If I want to bring the flowers out, I can go into that blue. So what happens if I go in here like that, and I just sweep through there, and then I go through with a bit of water? Does it stain, or what does it do? See, until you try it, you're never going to know, are you? I think it's sometimes it just needs a bit of confidence to try it. There. And then paddle it. There you go. And because we did that, we sanded it a little bit with an emery board. What I find is that so it's a bit darker now around there, so you can see it a bit better. You can let it dry completely. You can go back in when it's completely dry. But whatever you do, don't think for a second that that's rubbish, because it isn't finished. Once this is dried, right, we can do it now. Once it's dried, you'll buff it. You see? Let's do this. Right? And I think what you've got to do is see, you've got to actually see one go from this, like, yeah, it does look like a mess. But when the mess is then chopped up and framed and then mounted, it looks so glorious, right? So there you go. Nice. So let's see where we are now. It should be dry, should be getting dry, even if it's a little bit. Right, and then once it's dried, you probably want to let it dry, but then you can take a tissue or a paper towel, and then you can buff it, and you'll find that it comes up like a really nice gloss. You see that? It's like printed. So, and you're not moving. You see how there is the faux batik? It doesn't move. Look, it just stays exactly where you want it. So you've got that really cool effect, okay? And then it just depends whether you want to add any more or less. It's up to you. And then this here, you're not going to waste this. So let's get that now. This water here, this ink. And remember I said get that poly bag. So get a poly bag and pop this inside the poly bag. Let me pan out a little bit so you see it better. So you're going to come out like that. So you've got this poly bag with the ink on it. And why don't we now, I'm just going to put my hand here because I know when I do this, look, it goes everywhere, right? It's just add a little bit of water to the ink. And then you've got choices. Now, if you close this poly bag, so you can move that ink around, right? And it starts to blend the colours really nicely. Now, you've got choices. If you take, let's just use a bit of paper, or let's use a bit of stencil card, because this stuff really can take the water. You could use that card as well. Of course you can. But this is good for background papers, or what, for backgrounds. This is great. So let's say you've got choices. If you want to, you can lift that up. If it looks wet enough to you, you can just drop that in there like so. And then lift it off. And then you see what you've got. You certainly got a matching background to what you put on the front there. So let's close that for a minute. So you can chase that ink. You can move that around. And again, it will make the best background. This is so nice. If you chop this bit up, there are landscapes in there, a little bit of yellow, a little bit, let it dry. I've got loads of these. I did yesterday. Look, I'll show you. This is me yesterday. Look. I just did loads of them. So I've got all these smashing backgrounds, you see? And if you just don't want to waste this ink. It gets watery as it gets lighter. That was the back and the front, so I can decide which one I prefer. See, that was when I did the back and the front, so I got a twofer. I can decide which one I like. So, and the other thing to do, you can do it that way around, or you can do this. So you can spritz this. So let's say if I spritz, this would be a lot more like a wash. If I want it to be watery, then I wet the card, and then it will just move really easily. Look, so I'll take that off there now like so. Right, I'm putting the wet side down so you can see it. So I put the wet side down. So just for the hell of it, I'm going to put this side up. So this is quite blotchy now. This is going to be quite blotchy, just to show you the difference, dry versus wet. So that's what happens if it's dry card. But when I lift this one up, this is really watery. See, it's lovely. Perfect for stamping on. Perfect for stamping on. So there you go. That's that way. That's a great way to make card as well. So I'll just lift this off here for a minute. Just move this out of the way. And then I'll let that dry. That'll be absolutely lovely by tomorrow morning. And then we'll go back to our cards, our little pieces of card that we're chopping up. Because you'll see, let's just take, I don't know, take any one of these. Take the one that we just did. There you are. It doesn't matter. And what we're going to do is that it's still a bit wet, but that's all right. You'll get the picture. And now I've got my chopping board. Let me take that water out of the way so we don't have a calamity, right? And what we're going to do now is just chop these up. So I can chop this up any size I fancy. Do you see? Let's say, for example, where are those little cards? I love these. I think they're brilliant. Right. Thank you, Dave, for making these for us. Right. So we've got the envelopes there. Now, where did I put the little cards? I've got them somewhere. They've got to be here somewhere. Here they are. Right. So I've got my little card. Hello. Got my little card. So now I've got to decide, how big do I want this to be? See, so I could make out of one piece, I could do 4, couldn't I? Really? Or I can it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. Let's see what happens if I'd rather keep it in the right direction, or I could make them landscape as well. See, but let's just say, if I look at this, how big are these? So this is, just so that I know, it's got, if it's about 5 centimeters, right? If I do it about 5 centimeters, let's have a look. There's 5 centimeters, about 2 inches, right? So I'll chop that like so. There you go. Don't overthink this. Don't overthink this part. So it's going to be about 5 centimeters. There you go, like that. And then this one's going to be just a little bit shorter. It's all right. Make a different one. This is going to be nice. So now I'll look at that and now I think, okay, so I need it to be 8 centimeters. So I'm going to look at this and I think, well, I want that heart really, but I don't want to overthink it. I don't want that top bit. So I'm going to go to that. So I'll take that bit off there like that. Do you know what? I don't even want to waste that. I might put that on the back. I know Sam would, right? So I'll use that like so. I'll chop that off there. So that now is going to be that'd be lovely. See? Very nice. So I've got I can make 3 of them. 3 cards. I'm just going to go with 1. So I've still got 2 courses to serve yet, friends, right? But I just want to show you just how easy this is. So you take that, right? Stay there a minute. So got that. Then I've got my black Sharpie pen somewhere. Have Sharpie pen, will do job. Bit of copy paper, bit of scrap, like so. Sharpie pen. Okay, that'll do. And then we're just going to go down that edge like so. So you just chisel in like that and then down you go. Turn it round. And you know, this little piece of inky art will turn into something so classy in a minute. So that's, look, it's really nice. Okay, it's got lovely, lots of depth. And the other thing is that you can decide, it's like I explained as well on that one. I took an archival ink pad. I did that. I took a light ink pad, forget me not, and then I just stamped the same stamp over the top of the dried effort. And I thought that looks really nice as well. Different, just something different, isn't it? This one I put loads of yellow and let it bleed and just dry it without heating it. Different again. So now you've got that and that, okay? And you just take your, I found loads of these in the warehouse. We thought we were running out. Got loads of them. They're good, but 100 feet on one. Less plastic. Right, let's do this. Okay. That's that. Take that. Turn that round. Got our little card. Going to go to the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left. Right, there you go. That's that. So classy. Just tighten that up like so. And then we get our stickers. And then we enjoy and we decide who's it going to, what's it going to be for, make good memories. Make good memories. That's a good one. I like that. Make good memories. So these are my stickers. See? Again, don't overthink it. Really don't. It's just, look, oh, well, it just happens to fit absolutely perfectly as if by magic. Isn't that lovely? So there they are. So you've got these little, let it just tone down. But what a classy little piece of artwork. And what's nice is it's very tactile. It just feels good. Look, there's another one. It looks completely different, but it's obviously a matching set, isn't it? And you know what I think about this is, what a fabulous gift this would be. Not, you know, like if somebody made me a set of these, I would be chuffed to giblets, wouldn't you? What a lovely little set that is. Okay, so there you go. That's our second demo. Have we still got a few people in the bill? Are you ready for pudding? Are you ready for dessert? I want to show you now. Right, let's have a look. I'm thinking, right, that'll do for that. I'm happy with that. Pleased with that. That went well. It's that what it is, that art. It's that unpredictability. It's the bridge from crafting to art. That's what I think. It's the simplest thing. It's when it's not the outcome that you're looking at. It's the process, and that's when you become the artist rather than the crafter. You know, when you're not, it's not the finished product that you're really that worried about. It's the process of what you're doing, and it's that play. And when you get into that zone, you suddenly realize it's completely different. Your head is in a different place. It's not that you have to You're not crafting anymore at that point. You're not crafting. You're creating. You're making art. And there's it's a really it's a funny fine tipping point. But I bet you know exactly what I mean, don't you? Now let's have a look. I want to show you some art. Gallery numero tres. Right? Should we have a look at some? There you go. Enjoy the journey. And now let's have a look at some art. So we got some really nice art. You know, I was talking to you earlier about, so this is nice gear now. So bow wallpapers. Let me have a little shout out about these. Black on white, white on black. These were like the complement. You remember when we brought out, these sold well as well, but they're very popular. The tea infusion papers. So we brought out, look, see, this is what we did in the shack. Remember the beach hut? And then I put this on that and it just transformed it. And what you'll find is the tea infusion papers, they're not like the designer papers. They're a little grungier than that. But they work amazingly with this. Okay. So now let's just take a look at these. Okay. And let's have a look at some of this artwork now. So here we go. Of course it is. Sam Crow. Remember I said she's using that square gel press and she's using the mask and then she's just going through. But what she's actually used in the background is the bow wallpapers. So you can see here, she's gone to one of these black on white, white on black. She's gone black on white here. Look, I'll show you. This is where we really get into it. And you have, it's almost, if I say you've got to be brave, it's a funny, that's the one she's used. And she's literally taken that stamp that we're working with and she stamped it. It's all on one piece. And she's just stamped it 4 times randomly in different directions on a piece of this, right? Seriously. And then she's added colour with a little mini gel press over the top and around using the masks. Okay. And this is a sort of art that really will set you free. So again, look, Sam Crow. And she's used gel press. She's done the same thing again. She's got some sort of gel medium going on there. Looks like cling film. But check out the background. Bow wallpapers. Here we go again. Sam Crow. Strips of the paper. Stamped. Random. It's just ridiculously good. But all she's done is just taken, you see, it's just play, isn't it? But it's so arty. This is a great one. Sam Crow again. She's taken a bow wallpaper and it looks like you're looking at it through a Venetian blind. Isn't that cool? And this is a beautiful one. So this is Tina Morris. So she's used the infusion papers and now you know why the open heart is so cool because you can pick up the patterns in papers without interrupting it with the design. You see? And this one, I did this one. I was playing yesterday. And I just want to show you this because I used the bow wallpaper in the background. And this one, what I did, and you might like this, I don't have to show it so obvious, right? I took one of the chamomile papers here, right? That's all it is. It's just a chamomile paper. But I used this stencil. You know, Eileen Godwin's always using this stencil. And all I did was before I did anything, right? I took this stencil and I coloured a little bit of the mustard seed. All I did was take a brush, go like that, take this, put that on there, bit of mustard seed, bosh, 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 right? So I've got the lines in there. I covered up on this one. I definitely masked up the heart so that it wouldn't go on. You can see I made a little, this is all using one sheet of paper. Okay, but if you're wondering where the stripes are in those infusion papers, they aren't. So the point I'm making here is that one stencil, there's actually a book of them. Let me show you. Okay, these stencils here, these stencils, the circles, the hearts, the chain, these are fantastic. All of these, they're basic stencils really, but they're all superb for adding depth to these infusion papers, because they, as lovely as they are, of course they are, when you see them, if you put some stripes over that, or you added a couple of hearts in a beige over the top of that, it would completely change it. You're getting different, see, completely changes the papers just by running a brush through a stencil over the top. And these are subtle enough that you could change them. Really neat. Very, very neat indeed. So that's something to think about, isn't it? Hey? Yeah, so these designs, so that was the one I did. I just wanted to show you that one with the bow wob. And I know that a lot of you have bought this paper and then you're not sure what to do with it. And what I think is it's that bridgy arty thing again, you know. So let's just take that away. If you don't have any stencils in your stash, treat yourself to this one. That is a game changer. Right, so we've got that, we've done that, we've seen that beautiful artwork. Thank you so much, ladies. Sam, it arrived today. Was I glad to see that envelope? Yes, I was. Okay, so we've done our main course. We've definitely delved into that, haven't we? Yeah? Now I just want to show you, we're going to do a really quick one. And then, actually, I tell you what, card number, let's have a look here. Let's do, all right, while we've got it all out, I want to show you this one. We could probably talk this one through. Let's have a look. I blimmin' love it. I thought, and you'll probably figure it out with no effort on my part now. Let's have a look. This is one that Dee did. Okay, show you. There, that was my effort. Right, let's get in tight on this and let's do an analysis. Check it out. It is so pretty. It is so pretty, isn't it? And all Dee's done, let's have a look. She's taken that stamp. Voila. She's taken that little one. This is from the set, this little fella. Voila, either side. Okay. She's taken sticker booklet. These are the Kiss stickers. They're different font, aren't they? Different typeface. They're very nice. She's taken that one. And then I just used some pergoliners to colour them in. See, I just, look, I did the same thing. And when I was doing it, so I did it and I used a paintbrush and I flicked with a paintbrush to get the splatters. Do you see? But then I looked at the two of them and I saw that Dee's was far not as splatty as mine. Mine's much louder, right? Agreed. And the reason for that is because I was just using the paintbrushes like I did earlier. Okay, let me show you on a bit of paint. I'm not going to do it on it. So I was doing that with the paintbrushes to get the, you know, I was just flicking them like that. Or you can use a toothbrush, for example. So that worked really well for me. But then when I compared, mine was sorry about that. Mine was a lot splattier than Dee's. So then I thought, so how did she do that then? And then I looked at it and I thought, I know exactly how she's done that. And I'm going to show you because they finally, this is so ironic, right? We'd sold out of these blimmin' things and they finally, back in the cupboard, I saw the great big box by the warehouse door today and it was like, hallelujah. So these are these spritzers, right? And so what you do, this is Dee's writing, in fact, right? So you get a little label, and it was funny because I said to Dee earlier on, I said, what ratio of water to ink do you recommend, Dee? And she went, well, I actually laughed. She laughed and she said, I eyeball it. And I said, well, I do that. I thought you'd give me a clue. And because I just squirt some re-inker in have you got re-inkers? Check out behind me on that side, my little re-inker wall, right? So I just put a pipette of ink in here and a little squirt of water. She agreed with me as well, about 1 to 4, 1 ink to 4 water, you know? And then what you get is a really nice, like a really nice, even light, misty. These are really good. Some of them, they block, but these are really lovely misters, if you like. So I'm glad they're back in the cupboard. And so that's, and the only other thing I was going to say is before I started as well, let me show you, I figured out, I really had to study these, and I thought, so the way to get that green in the background before I start, okay, what I did was, let me take this out of the way now for a minute. What I did was I took a brush and I dusted a little bit of the colour into the, just from this corner, I just took it from there and added, it was cracked pistachio that I went for, which was the colour that Dee used as well, right? It's a really nice colour. So you get rid of the excess, like so, and then you just brush with one of our stencil brushes, just put that colour in as a base in the corner before you start. Right, it's a really lovely, light, forgiving colour, but everything emanates from the corner. So you just keep going from that corner, and then that way, when you add your splats to it, it's already got a really nice echo going, right? And then as far as the stamping goes, it's really, I felt what was really easy, the easiest thing for me to do was to take a piece of masking tape. I mean, this is, at this point, everything's pretty straightforward, right? So you could pop that in there like so, right? So that's going to be my guide. So I'll just stamp along there like that, okay? And then I'll take I'm definitely going to start with my one in the center first. So my lovely flower should stamp up all right. So pop that in the middle, like so. That'll do. And then these two on the side. 1, 2. So that's that. So then we take that away. So they're in the straight line. Then we'll put a lid on this one. Okay. So we can colour those in. So if you've got a little bit of a smear like I have, that's okay. Here's one I did earlier. So then we'll take our So Glad I Found You, Sending Love Your Way. What have we got here? These are so lovely, aren't they? Love and Laughter, Happy Anniversary. Yeah, they're lovely. Happy Anniversary. That works really nicely. So we're just going to go along there like that. So that's there like that. Okay. You can always use a micron pen. I know I've got one somewhere, just to tidy that up. Then you can take your colours and you can just colour in your colours. Yeah. I'm using pergoliners again. This is a real quick and easy, isn't it? So you can make this as difficult or as easy as you like, but I'm just going to keep it simple tonight. Right, so there you go. We'll just add a little bit of colour. Really easy. And what I felt, what really made this card for me personally, was the splatting. You know, I found that really made the card delightful, actually. So we'll just add a little bit of blue in there as well. You can always blend the colours, because I'm using the watercolours as well from the pergoliners. How are we doing here? I've got one more card after this to cleanse the palette that Dee created. But I think this is, again, it's just that simple layout in the corner. You know, all that white space, all that white space, but how neat does this look? You know, clean and tidy. There you go. And then we'll get those two colours going together. There we are. So we'll just run one colour into the other colour because that looks rather nice too. So we've got watercolour. See, because I'm using the A pencils like so. So if I wanted to add water, I sure could. Or I could just leave it as it is. Just you can use them dry. You don't just because they're aquarelle pencils doesn't mean you have to use water at all. You know, they're nice blending pencils actually. But if you add water, the colour does get more vibrant. I'll tell you that. This would be nice. There you go. Add a bit of blue. That'll do. Bit of blue, bit of green. Go back in there. Add a bit of green in there as well. Just over the top. That's what I find with the watercolour ones, as opposed to the blending pencils. The blending pencils, it's not so straightforward, is it, to blend the colours, is it? There you go, that looks quite nice. There we are. You can add a bit of water, because don't forget you've used a permanent ink pad. So this is now the blending pencil. So you can mix and match them. If you want to get a bit darker, now you can go in with your oil-based pencil, see, over the top, and you can change the colour and the look completely. There you go. See how much darker it gets as soon as you add the oil over the top. That's a decision you've got to make, though. If you're not going to add water, you can always go back in like this. See how it changes it. Right, so depth, colour. It's very relaxing anyway, isn't it? The colouring bit. So who's made this? Has anybody made this card with me, or have you all abandoned it now? Go on, tell me you're carrying on. I can't wait to see your artwork when you've completed your projects. I guess the thing is with this, right? Because we're manufacturers, this is the thing. So we make the design, we design and we make the stamps, and then I like coming in here and doing a craft along with you, right? And the craft alongs, I would never ever charge for an online craft along. That's because you have to understand there are lots of people out there that do charge for their craft along. They don't have a manufacturing company that we can make our money from the stamps. I invite you to join me to do a workshop. You buy the stamps. That's how we fund the process. That's how we fund the company. Other people who are demonstrators and teachers and tutors, they don't have that. They have to buy the stamps in. They don't make them like we do, you see. So they charge for their tuition. That doesn't make them greedy and me generous. That means that we have another way. And I feel that it would be improper if I started asking for money for the tutorials, because you spend all your money with us on the stamps and on the products. Do you see? But that's not to say that the other demonstrators are coining it or anything like it. I feel very strongly about that. So, you know, like I want to do another craft along with you. I'll tell you about it. And the way that we fund it is by selling you the stamps. So you buy the stamps or you buy the products, then you come along, we hang out together, it's a win-win. You get beautiful stamps and we get to carry on, right? And so in the shack, the last time we were in the shack, we did those F for fashion stamps, do you remember? And so we've made them. Jazz, she laid them all up, she made the negatives, Laurent made the stamps today, we designed the packaging and everything. Jazz did it all today, so that I could show you them, so that you can buy them. And I want to announce the next date. Let me just shout about this now before we go on to the fourth and final demo. You ready for the last one? Am I going on too long? I think we ought to do this though. Right, have a look. So do you remember when we drew these in the shack? You really liked them, and everybody said, "Oh, I need those. I need those to be stamps. They have to be stamps." Right, do you remember when we drew them? Look, there they are. And they are exactly the same as what we drew. Look, no different. We didn't doctor them. We didn't do anything. There she is, exactly like the stamp. Exactly as I drew it, that's exactly how the stamp comes. Isn't that great? Right? So what I want you to do, if you're up for it, you asked for them to be made. Here they are, all good to go. She's got style. Happy birthday. Happy New Year. Happy New You. This is my writing. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Right? If you want to buy these stamps and you want to join in, I've looked at my calendar and I would like to do a craft along with you again. Yeah, I'll write it down. No, this is basic, but here it is. Are you ready? Next craft along. Date for the diary. This is a Thursday night, so it's a shack night. Shackers United, right? So we got shack. Next craft on Thursday the 30th of May. So that gives us loads of time. Loads of time. Loads of time. Okay, to get them out to the design team, let them work their magic, for you to buy it. Okay, get ready, have a play, right? And then we'll get together. And where can you find them? They are. This is. I mean, it's a bit long-winded. I don't know who came up with this name. Barbara's Shack. F is for fashion. Calligraphy girls. So if you put in Barbara's Shack, F is for fashion, they'll pop up, and we put them. Paul put them kindly in the front end of the website, so right on the front page, new in or whatever it says in that column. So if you want to buy them, they're $14.99, and then we'll have some fun. Okay, so that gives me some time as well to have a little holiday with Dave, and then come back and get organised for the calligraphy girls. Okay. What does Tracy say? I need. I know they're going to be so nice. I'm really looking forward to doing these. I see these gold embossed. I just see them gold embossed. Anyway, so there you go. Time to think. And are you ready now for the fourth and final demo? That's Spring Bank Holiday Week. Is it? Is that a problem then, Sue? It's all the same to me. We ship all over the world. Spring Bank Holiday Week. Does that matter? Thursday. I'm here. Are you here? Let's have a look. This is such a nice card. Right. The fourth and final adventure. Bowwad papers. Does it sound like I'm pushing them? I'm not pushing them. I'm encouraging you to buy them because they're a game changer. Let's have a look. We're going to look at the fourth and final card. Let me just see what I've got here. I really like this. This was so bold and beautiful. And I thought, wow, Dee, you've really outdone yourself on this one. And when you look at how clever it is, so, okay, let me just get my bits together because I prepared it all yesterday. I did all the different, there we are, the layers of it. So now I can show you. Ready? There. So this is quite something. Right, let's pan out a little bit so you can see it, because this is a real paper piecing job. Right, so if we look at this, let's deconstruct it, and then we can go back and because all the work is in that middle bit. Everything else is just the framing. So we've got a 7x7 white card blank, right? There you go. Voila. Then we've got the red in the background. We've got red paper. So it's been trimmed, right, to fit. There it is. So you know you could do all of this that's in red. You could flick that round and do all of the same thing in yellow, just like we did on the first card. It's all about colour choices. I mean, Dee's gone really dramatic and black, and it's nice, isn't it? Hearts, love, red. But you literally, you could flick that round. You could use any colour you fancy, right? I think D went with Why Maya Falls, right? You could take any one of these colours, match the pen, the red. There's just a couple of little dots here, bit of yellow in there, bit of orange in there, whatever colour you choose. See, this is great. These colours are just sublime. Cool, that pink would work as well. Okay, so we're going to go with what Dee's done. I think this is lovely, but I think it's good to see how it's broken down. So then we've gone to the black on white, white on black. So I think this is set 2, right? Let's turn it around like that. This has been trimmed back another 1/4 inch. So it's always another, or 1/2 inch or so. I've just eyeballed it, right? So that's that. Now here we've got another bit of red there, like so. Do you want all the measurements? I could give you the measurements. I just measured it all with a ruler. All right, you ready? All right, write it down. 7 by 7 card. Then the red is, see, I eyeballed it. The red is 1/2 inch less, if you like. If you want to see it really obvious, do this. There you go. And if I do it like that, you'll see it's not 1/2 inch, it's about a centimetre, isn't it? I need my Pergamano ruler, I think. But Dee's like me, we just eyeball this stuff, don't we, Dee? There you go. Say, call it a centimetre shorter. So you just knock a centimetre off, knock another centimetre off. This is the key, this one. So that is, what we got, a 5 by 5 again? No, it's 4 inches. The centerpiece is 4 inches, okay? So you've got a 4-inch card that you're working on here. So that's that layer, that's that layer, that's that layer, and that's that layer. And then you've cut the card out there as well. And the way to do that, right, and then I'll show you. The easiest way, because if you stamp it on the front, how are you going to see that? So you turn it over and you stamp it on the back and then you cut it out on the back, right? And then when you cut it out, you can see that I've stamped it here. When you turn it round, there's your heart, your arty heart that you can then infill on the front. So that's the layup of that one. And what we'll do now, just to finish on, we'll do this stamping. Do you fancy that? And then we'll call it an evening. But I think it'd be nice to do it if you're up for it. So let me just get the stamps ready. We need the corner. Okay, going to use the corner. We're going to use this little fella in between the corners. And I've just put my little B for Barbara there as an anti-wobble device. That'll do. Then I'm going to use this stamp, the open one. Now you understand why we use the open one. I mean, to be honest, at this point, I've just realised you could use the patterned one in the background, and then because you're going to cover it up anyway. But for the sake of this demonstration, let's use that one. Right, that'll do. So I've got my ink pad. I'm going to move that out of the way for a momento. Right, now here we go. Pattern building. To the left, stamp. We're going to go really as tight in the corner as, look, I've already done it once. This isn't me winging it, friends. I've already started. So I know that I've got to go just a smidgen in. The width of the stamp, the outer edge of the stamp, if I line that up with the outer edge of the card, it will work. Okay? So here we go. Start in the corner. Right. Stating the obvious. First thing is I can see the stamp. If I had to look through a handle, it wouldn't be so easy. So I make sure that I can see the stamp. Now watch. I hover with the handle till I'm happy with the position. And then because it's a corner, excuse my head in the way, I press on the corner of the stamp like that. I press there. Then I turn the artwork. Then I go again. Hover with the handle. till I'm happy with the position, and then I press in the corner. Where I'm pressing is here, okay? I'm trying to talk and do it at the same time, but it works. Corners, pattern building. This one's for you, Ken. Right, there you go. Ken's really, Ken and Paul, maybe it's a man thing. They love pattern building. Right, there you go. In we go. And then the fourth one. So I've got my 4 corners. That's it. There's the 4 corners. Oh, do catch. Now I want this bit in the middle. So this is going to make the frame. See, if you look at D, she's gone there, 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 and there. D's work's always immaculate, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Right, so there we go. So pop that in there. Then I'm going to hover with the handle till I'm happy with the position and then press down. That'll do. Turn it round, go like that. By the time you've coloured it all in, right, there you go. And then lower. It's almost like a little stamping platform, like that. Turn it round. Make the artwork come to you. So you turn it, hold like that. Is it 2 hours we've been crafting now? I told you it was going to be a good one. Right, 4th one. In we go. See, in the little anti-wobble device, just make sure you don't ink that up. There you go, like so. And one more time. And we've got our 4. There you go. So then the next thing we want to do is add our heart. So we'll just ink up our heart again. And the only bit we need really is the outside bit. So just make sure it's in the right place really. But I really liked this paper piecing. I thought it was really nice. And I thought it was a clever use of the loud bow wob papers, because a lot of people are, several people have sort of contacted me and said, what am I actually doing with these bow wob papers? And it's like, oh, when you see what can be done, they're a very mixed media kind of thing, aren't they? They're collage papers. There you go. The clue's in the name. And then unfortunately, I've been so busy. I've got so many good ideas. I haven't had time to really get into it yet. So you got that, see? Then you take this, you've got the same, you've probably got enough on there to do that without having to re-ink. I'm sure there's enough ink on there. Yeah, so see, then I can cut that out. So I'll cut that fella out on the line, okay? And then when I turn it over, of course, I've got that, haven't I? So that now, it fits on there perfectly. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we've already established how we did all the layering up. So now we're just going to do the colouring. Colouring is really easy. So we sell these as well. So we use black micron pens, and then we use the Perga colours for this jobby. Okay, so let's go to one that I've already started. And the black micron pen, I'm going to use the number 5, because often you think, how come we only ever use the number 1? In the shack we do, don't we? We only ever really use the number 1 because we're drawing the outline. But when you're in filling, that's why those packs of pens, yeah, I've got one here. Always got one of them ready. See these packs of pens? There are, so you've got the light ones, and then you've got to go right up to 8, you see. So I'm going to use the number 5, but they're really good. They work really well. And we're just going to, so the idea is that you colour in, see, so you just infill. You see this all right? Yeah. There you go. So you put your good glasses on and you could infill this area, but they're very good for this. This is what they're for, really. Right, so you just colour in a section, then go to the next section. Okay. And this is where that artwork that Tina Morris did was so good, where she did, the cards that we saw right at the beginning. They were very nice for this job. Black and white, white and black, pattern building, quite a lot of optical illusions going on there. Very nice artwork. Yeah, so I mean, if you like our kind of artwork, right, and you're a Clarity fan, then consider coming to the open days. They're in June, the 7th and 8th of June. It's quite a big event, really. It's in Ditton near Maidstone, and well, Dee's going to be there, so I need to speak to Dee about. I think we could really get an ink clinic going, because what she doesn't know about ink, you really don't need to know. So I think that it would be really great to take advantage of having Dee in the building and get her on inks. We've got Eileen Godwin there. So this is Inky again. She's Stencil's queen, isn't she? Then we've got Sam Crow. Well, there you go. So mixed media at its absolute best. See how you could get patterns going by not colouring, like I could change this look completely by creating openings within the, that's quite good, that. Then you've got Sam, and you've got Dee, and you've got Eileen on the on that side of the, on the inks and paint side of the business. I know Sam will be doing gel press. If she didn't, would it? And then me as well. I don't think I'm going to have time to do any pottery between now and then. So I think I'm going to have to forget about the pottery thing. I don't think I've got enough time. I might fire up the kiln. I did do a couple of really nice lamp stands. I mean, you only need 2 of them to fill the kiln. But I don't think I'll have enough for the open days. Last year it was great. I wasn't feeling 100%, and it was just, it was just a weird old year. But it was nice to have the pottery there. But this year I think we'll stick to the plan, and I'll just do demos. I think I'll get arty. There you go. So you see now you're using the red, the fine line pen from the Perga colour. It glides really nicely on the card, and so you just add the red, and you add the black, and it's that simple. It's just a question of just filling in that area and taking your time. But it's very nice, and it will work very beautifully. There you go. And that's it, my friends. That's it. I'm going to carry on doing this. How do we stick this in there once this is done? Well, I would personally, I'm a big fan of, I just get a Pritt stick. There you go. Pritt sticks are good, honestly. And you just take the Pritt stick in the center. I've been going to a print class down in Brighton, and that's what they use. And I just thought, well, actually, it really works well, because you could do, there's so many lovely techniques with chine collé, and that's very clever stuff. But the Pritt stick, you get a good coverage, really, and you've got a little bit of, it's forgiving, it's got a bit of wiggle room. So you start in the middle, you push it out to the outside, and then you just lower it down into place. You see, and the nice thing about it is you've got a bit of wiggle room. See, so I can move it around a little bit before it settles, and then as soon as that's in place, there it is. Right, and the last part of the deal, right, which is really neat, what Dee did was, you see how she created a heart within the heart? All these little things, they give you pleasure. So that one is open, and then we're going to colour those 2 in, see? And when it dries, it will dry a little bit lighter than that. And it looks so nice when it's done. There you are. And you just colour those in, let it dry lighter, and it will. And then, and that's it. That's the end of the game, really. That brings us nicely to the end of the workshop. You can see how she's used that same little stamp there to spell out love. All in all, a really thoroughly delightful card using those Boward papers. And where did we find that paper? I'm pretty certain it was in the second set, in the second book, but I could be wrong. Let's have a look. No, it is. It's in the second book. There it is, there. See, down there. Set 2. So if you're interested, see, I love these. They were the ones that I used for those shack for the ladies as well. They're transformational. That's all I can say. There you go, black on white, white on black. There it is. So just in case you're wondering where we found it, it was in set 2. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the workshop. If you get a chance to get your tickets for the open days, I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're groovy, Linda Williams is going to be there, Josie Davison is going to be there, and Jane Telford. So you've got 3, and then you've got Glynis. She's doing the snip clinic. So it's going to be pretty spectacular. And yeah, and you get a raffle when you come in the door, and it's great. And so the £8 ticket that gives us a good indication of how many people to cater for. But all in all, I think you're going to enjoy yourselves, and if you can, come for both days. Honestly, get a cheap hotel somewhere in the area, because it is quite the experience. Okay. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Many thanks to the design team for the fantastic artwork. What was 2 hours and 10 minutes. Do you know what? And we made 4 cards. So we started out with a really beautiful card from Deb, with the wedding overlay using the masks. Then we went into that really arty, unpredictable splatty art, inspired by Sonia Goodliff. Then we took a look at the brushing and the spritzing. Well worth getting those, because they are good. They're good, those ones. And then finally, we did the paper piecing with the collage papers, using the bow wobs and the complementary companion papers. So there you go. That'll do, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, tomorrow, Debbie Wheeler is on the television at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. She's on Create and Craft. So she's got some really lovely things to show you. She always has. And then on Monday at 10 o'clock, I shall see you in the shack bright and early. And it will be, let me see, we did G for giraffe, it's H for, I was thinking a hummingbird. Do you fancy drawing a hummingbird on Monday? I think that would be really, really lovely. Don't you? So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Gracie, thank you so much for keeping us company in New York. And don't forget to head on over to the website if there's anything you fancy. Pop those tickets in, and those bow wob papers, and maybe those spritzers. And if you haven't got the stamps yet, now you know how they work. Lots of love. I'm going to go and see how Eric's doing. Poor little thing. Go easy. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye now, friends.